Welcome back to Unraveled Radio, where we dive deep into stories of entrepreneurship, healing, creativity, and purpose. I'm your host, MsLovelyLocs, and today I'm joined by a woman who is making big waves in the business space. The founder of Spaces at Stix, the amazing Lola Cee. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
It's so great to have you here. For those that don't know you yet, tell us briefly who you are and what Spaces at Stix is all about.
Yep. My name is Lola Cee. I am one of the founders of Spacesatstix. This is a home event space slash bed and breakfast that me, my sister, and my mom are building together. We wanted to create a space where people can not only have memorable events, but also foster their community. And so that's what we're building at Spacesatstix, and that's what we're creating.
It's wonderful. What inspired you guys to launch that?
A multitude of things. So, about 5 years ago, we started a home care agency. My mom has always been in the home care field, and so we took her out the field and started our own agency. These last few years, a lot of laws changed, so we decided we wanted to pivot. Alongside, she wanted to retire from the field, and me and my sister, we're good at the back end stuff, but as far as like the field stuff, it's not us. So we've always been big on experiences. So we were like, how do we combine experiences? We have a big family. Like, what do we want to do to go forward? We already purchased a home because we were gonna do a group home, but like I mentioned, like laws begin to change, so we wanted to do something that was more meaningful to us, and so that's how we decided we wanted to do an event space.
Wow, that's wonderful. So, what was like the first step? What, like, when you took her from retirement, then you got to decide to buy this house, and you're gonna make it a group home, and then you said, no, we're gonna turn it into like a bread and breakfast. What did that whole thing look like? You and your sister, your mom sitting down, like you had to reimagine how you're gonna decorate and all this other stuff. Tell me
Yeah.
about that.
So at first when we like I mentioned, we first bought the home, we were preparing for the group home. So like we're preparing the home for that, meeting the codes. And then my mom started to let us know that she doesn't want to be in the field anymore. So like one thing about home care that I would say is you have to have a team, you have to have a staff, and we have by that time we have run through dozens of people. And so it's just so hard keeping people when you don't want to be in the field yourself. So we just start having conversations. A couple of years ago, my uncle passed, and my mom held a repast at a house. She rented an Airbnb and she did the repast at the house. So she started mentioning wanting to do that. She's like, I want to create that because we didn't have for that part of my family, like they're a smaller knit family. And so we didn't need a full hall or a full funeral home or those things. And so that was kind of like the root of it. And then as time went on, me and my sister talked more about it. We've been traveling for years and building experiences. And so we're very business savvy. So we wanted to be on the entrepreneurship side, the workshops and things like that. And so like just sitting down and having conversations about where we see our future going and things we want to do, things that we're doing now that we don't want to do anymore. That really just helped narrow it down. And a big piece of it was the fact that we already had the house. So we were like, what do we do with this house?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
yeah.
when you transition from the group home to the space being like an event space, was that a solo grind with just you, your mother, and your sister, or did you guys have like contractors or other family members? Like, give us a little bit of how it evolved into the space that it is now.
Yeah, definitely. When we first everything has been a solo grind with us three. I would say I can't really call it a solo grind when there's 3 people, but
The triple threat.
the triple threat, you know. But everything has just been us from the beginning of starting with the home care to pivoting to the event stuff. That's all us. Everything from back end to front end, from marketing to operations to finances. Like it's just us. We have not explored we're still at the beginning phases of our business. So like we haven't explored bringing in like a team yet or getting funding and all those things. So right now it has been us and us driving the bus. So yeah.
Wow. When did you guys first open?
In December. Yep. We took our
That's like
first event in December. Yeah.
wow. Because I felt like I was missing out on something. I'm like, how did I know about this place?
No, we're new.
Well, let's talk about what you offer and what kind of spaces are available and who do you serve?
Yep. So we have 2 different sides. So there's the bed and breakfast. And so our goal long term is to have 3 suites in the house. Right now we have 1 suite available. So it comes with the back blue room, the bedroom, the private bathroom, and then like there's a shared kitchen area. And then the event space, you rent out the whole house. You have the 2 living rooms, kitchen, 2 bathrooms, and a bedroom available. And then the full backyard. And who this is for? This is really for families, for people who want to do stuff with their families, with their friends, getting back to hosting. I feel like a lot of people aren't able to host or have those game nights or things they want to do with each other because they don't have the space. And so like we really wanted to create that space where people can do that, whether it's your family, your friends, your tribe, your the community that you're building. We wanted people to have a space they could do that at.
That's what's up. So what set spaces that sticks apart from other event or creative spaces in the city?
Sorry. Something that sets us apart, number one, is that we're a house. So like that is the big difference about us is that we are a home event space. And so like everything we do is completely different than how an event hall typically works. Like you can bring your own vendors, you can bring your own people. I mean, obviously bring your own people, but you have a lot more flexibility here than most places when you think about having your event. So that's why I think sets us apart. And then something else is that fact that we're also like focusing on entrepreneurs and workshops. And so like really creating a space where people can really foster their community, really build up what they're trying to build up because they a lot of times people can't grow their business because they don't have the space.
That's true. How can people book with you? We'll also leave the link below in the comments, but just give us a brief run through how it is to book an event with you.
Yep. You can visit spacesatstix.com. All of our apps is spacesatstix. Like to keep it simple. And so you just choose whether you want to book for the event space or the bed and breakfast via there, and it'll take you to book it. And then there are event add-ons on our page as well. So you can add on a personal chef, a balloon artist, a DJ, a bartender. You can add all these things on. We also have other add-ons you can add on from party rentals to bounce houses. And then coming soon, we'll see experiences. We'll see workshops and spa parties and charcuterie tastings and things like that.
Oh, that's wonderful. So will you be taking advantage of the new I just was talking with a hair client who's a chef and he's just a creative all around. He said there's something called like experiences on Airbnb now since they're not.
That is exactly what we're gonna take advantage of. I've used Airbnb experiences for many years, like for travel. And so like I've been spreading the word like wildfire about Airbnb.
Wow. So that's coming full circle. Let me know I'm connecting with the right people and this is what I need to do next. The issue I've been having as a chef is doing pop-up shops where it's oversaturated with other food businesses and I'm not making no money and it's so it's just labor intensive going to the store, getting the stuff, bringing it to your house to cook it or a community kitchen to cook it, then getting it to the pop-up shop to only not sell it and then got to get it back in the car. So
Yeah. No, I we have been very intentional about like our events. Like we don't really host events, but like we collaborate and help facilitate events. But like
yes,
for example, we did an open house mixer, which we will host one every year. Um, but we brought in like a chef and a curator and brought in all the people to collaborate on it. But then we also had vendors set up, and like we didn't charge vendors to come to set up, but I was very particular about not having people who are cooking there. If I have a personal chef there giving away free food, like that
yes,
doesn't make sense.
counterproductive, correct.
Yeah, and it wastes your time. So I think a lot of times, like when it comes to like vendor events and pop-ups, like people just want you to pay the $60 for the
Yeah, the
table,
only person who's getting the money is the host.
the host. And if it's 10 of us here that cook food, then
So the first event I ever did was 3 years ago. It was called Chefs in the D. And if you're doing something like that, then everybody knows they're coming out to eat. But if you're giving a pop-up shop, you don't need more than two food vendors because you got
exactly,
your dessert, you got your savory, and then they can make their money. If you got five, six, seven food vendors, how anybody gonna make any money? Because it's not
exactly.
that much foot traffic. You
It's
have to
not
really have a huge following. Yeah.
And we've been very like intentional about the collaboration. So like, if we feel like someone wants to collaborate and they have like an idea, we'll pull in other people that we know. Like, hey, I met this person who aligns perfectly with what you want to do. Maybe y'all can do an event together, and then you use this community because this community wants that type of event anyway. So they're gonna pay to show up anyways. So like
Yes.
I, we've been being like the glue to connect the people to have their event. So you have the community that's going to show up, and then you have the people that are putting the event on.
And that I think that's the part that's missing within the pop-up shop world, whereas I'm looking more to go towards the experiences.
Yeah,
Because that is like I found my audience and now I'm right here in front of it.
right.
Man. So as an entrepreneur, there's always a story behind the scenes. So besides your mom being in the healthcare industry, tell me a little bit more about yourself and what got you to this path. Like, what did you do before this and whatnot?
Yeah. So you know how you're multifaceted? I am the same way. I actually graduated a few years ago for international business, and so I left corporate last year. My background is actually imports and exports, but on the entrepreneurial side of things, I do a total of three things. I always say I build systems and community through travel, events, and business. Um,
Wow.
through travel because we blew global experiences. That was before the event space was ever thought of. We've been doing international experiences for the last 5 years. And when I say we, I say me and my sister because that's my left hand and my left brain. So
Yes.
together,
What's the age difference?
2 years.
Who's the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
Oh, okay. You taught her well.
Yeah. And she is a beast in her own world.
Wow, we have to get her on here one day.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And so we have the travel business. That's how I really got into experiences. And then the events for spacesatstix. And then on the business side of things, I really help. I go into businesses and like help them build their systems and their processes and find a team that will stay their team. And so like that's something I've been doing this last year since leaving corporate, because I found that a lot of companies are still like moving manual, printing paper and things like that. And so like I've just found different companies from small companies to large companies to help and come on a contract base to like fix that for them.
Wow. As you're talking, I'm a lot older. It reminded me of a cartoon I used to watch was the Jetsons. You sound
Oh
like
no, the
you
cartoon.
sound like the missing cog. He worked in a cog factory. As advanced as the society was, they were flying and the cars could fly, but he worked in a cog factory. And you sound like that missing piece that a lot of businesses need for real, for real. Myself included, like with the salon. I've been a one-man team for close to 3 years now. Just doing everything by myself.
And that's what
Doing
honest work.
marketing, advertising, doing the hair, making oils, cleaning the salon. Like, so it's like, at what point do you get a team? Like, it's crazy.
See, something I always say about like business operations is like I feel like creatives and like service people, like if you do hair, like you should be able to focus on the hair. You should be able to like do that and not have to so much focus on the business. Obviously, you should know what's going on in your business, but I feel like a lot of people get stretched so thin trying to do every hat of the business when really you love doing hair, you love creating the product, but like not
Yes.
doing all these other things and is hindering you from being the best at the hair and the product. So that is where I come in at. So
Well, you Pagalina.
exactly. So if you have any services, I will I actually live in Florida, so I am bi-coastal back and forth from Fort Lauderdale and Detroit. But I will be in Detroit for a long period of time this year, coming up this year. And so like I will be taking on different businesses to help with operations.
That sounds wonderful. Do you work with any of the community programs here in Detroit, like Prosperous or it's quite a few. I graduated from Prosperous. There's Built, something like that. Built.
We
That,
haven't worked with any community programs yet. We've been getting in contact with a lot of like grassroots community builders, I would call
okay.
people who just are building up like smaller communities of people gathering together. We've been connecting with them, but we haven't connected with any large community groups yet.
Wow. So how do you stay motivated on hard days?
I have a mirror in my bedroom, like a full wall mirror, and it's full of
Yes.
quotes and things that I live by. And one of the quotes at the top of the wall is, "I don't do the job for." What is the quote? Now I have to look.
Oh, no problem.
I don't need to see results to do my job. I need to do my job to get results.
I like that. I like that. And
So,
what lessons has this business taught you about yourself?
honestly, this business has been the most fun I've been having these last few months. It has taught me a lot about entrepreneurship and social media, just a lot more than even though we have been doing business the last few years, I feel like this has really been like a completely new experience. From aligning with people to networking to collaborations. I was always a person that was like, I don't want to be an entrepreneur. And now that I'm here, I feel like every day I learn something new in the event industry.
That's what's up. You're not just running a business, you're actually building a community. I'm like so honored to meet you and I see great things coming for you, just like a bright light. Because sometimes in this entrepreneur world, it can get like I've been doing this for so long, it's like I'm getting like exhausted or burnt out. So it's like refreshing to talk to somebody, young person that's, got a lot of good stuff going on here in the city. And I'm gonna come over there and check y'all out. Do y'all do
Yeah.
tours or anything?
Yep. We typically do tours on Sunday afternoons.
Oh wow.
So I always schedule a tour on a Sunday afternoon. Otherwise, if you can't do a Sunday, just like message us and like we'll figure something out.
Oh, that's wonderful. Have there been any events or moments at Spaces at Sticks that made you step back and say, I don't know, is this what I really want to do?
Look, the other day, someone put in a request for a repass. They said they were having a repass, and we were suspicious because the repass was starting at 9 p.m. Come to find out, it was 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds, and it was almost like
It was a
Project.
YN event.
They turned the house into Project X,
I
and
love
we came in. The shower was upside down. Don't even know how you did this. But so much stuff. But I would say the things that make me like question it would be always like the house maintenance.
it. Yes.
Like there's a difference between having an event hall and having a house. When it comes to the maintenance and expenses that it comes with. And then the people who are trying to like get away with whatever they're trying to get away with,
Yes,
they make me question it. But the fun I'm having making connections and like building the community around it, like it kind of really outweighs all of that.
that's wonderful. It's
Yeah.
it's a learning lesson. It's just like me with the Detroit Entrepreneur Group. You know, after doing something for so long, you kind of see the red flags and know what to look out for. So now you know a repass at 9 o'clock at night. Think not.
Yeah. And what's funny is there's no rules against like having a party at
Right.
the house. So like, who are you lying for?
Yeah, because you got bad intentions to begin with, so that's why you started off with a lie. So
Exactly.
before we go, you told us we could find you at Spaces at Stix on all platforms.
Yep.
And if you could go ahead and send that to me as links, I'll make sure to put it in the show notes. And a final message is Lola, thank you so much for joining us today. Your story, your passion, your space. They're such a gift to the city and our listeners. Oh, where is it located?
We're located in Southfield, Michigan. We're on 9 Mile and Evergreen.
Oh, that's
You know,
wonderful. Do you anticipate having more, like branching off with more locations?
yes, so that is definitely the long-term goal. We want to have multiple locations. We want a location right in the city, first of all. Um,
Yes.
we want to have multiple locations, but we're very intentional about them being boutique style locations. Us doing a home event space is outside the box of your typical event space and bed and breakfast and things. So like we want to keep that message across. Like we want to really stay in the unique box of what we're creating with Spacesatstix.
Wow. Well, if you're looking for a space with soul and intention, go check out Spaces at Sticks. As always, thank you for tuning in to Unravel Radio, where healing, hustle, and heart all come together. Thanks so much for being on the show, Lola. It's great to
Thank
meet
you
you.
so much.